Hola, Diana. Hey, well, we'll start it now. Okay, and what is your leftover question?
Well, I was talking about taking lemons somewhere because I have so many, and wanted to say if they will take them. And looking that phrase up, you depending upon who the them is and who the they is. I got two or three after a conversation. I looked them up. I get a lot of answers. So we were talking about lemons, and what I wanted to say is if they will take them, if they, the organization, will take them.
And I'm sorry, you're talking about what's the thing that you want to take? The thing that is the
lemons.
Oh,
tengo mil
limones.
limones.
Okay, if they will take them, because you're looking to give them away, right? Okay, it's a thing. Those are direct objects. So limones becomes los.
Sí.
Si los van a aceptar.
Oh, aceptar. Sí.
Aceptar. Si los van a tomar, same thing, really. Could be tomar, could be aceptar. Yeah, those would probably be the two most likely.
Okay.
Didn't we way back when sometime have something that it was like if they are allowed, if they are permitted, permite?
Oh, like permitted?
Yeah.
Sí, permitir. Okay, yeah, they've got permitir. It's a real straight on cognate. But really, if they're going to take them, that's getting a little more involved to use permitir. I mean, you could probably.
It was just the first thing that jumped in my mind when Diana asked the question.
Yeah, permitir is, me permites, me permites darte estos limones. Would you allow me to give you these lemons? Might work too. Yeah, es posible. Yeah, it's possible. So, okay. Bien, good. Is there any other little leftover question that we need to? No, not okay.
I do have a little question.
Oh, okay, Trish.
I noticed when I was looking up things, instead of E for and, a lot of times I had the letter E. Does that make?
Oh, yes. Okay. You probably encountered this on Duolingo somewhere. Is that right?
It's on Spanish Dick, and I was looking up stuff.
Oh,
and
okay. That's an easy one. Here's what happens. Que no funciona. Okay. This little letter can mean and, right? But if you've got if the word following the word E starts with the sound. Oh, with the sound. E. Yeah. Then and needs to use a. Oh. It's a phonetic thing. So I'll give you an example. Laura e Inés van a venir mañana. Van a venir hoy. Laura e Inés. And that only happens because we do not want to say Laura y Inés. You don't want two sounds E coming next to each other. It's a phonetic no-no.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. But that may also happen if instead of, let's say, the name Inés, if you have an HI, because the H is always silent, but it's still starting with the E sound. Yeah. So, wow. Ba, 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 ba. Los carros de, oh no, I'm trying to think of it. Wow, it's kind of hard to think of a word that would be an HI, but you get the idea. If you had if you had something like híbrido, you were like using the word hybrid. It would have to instead, because it's HI and the H is silent, it would have to be híbrido.
Hijo.
Hijo, sí. Sí. Hay tías, hay abuelos y hijos en la reunión. It's a little convoluted, but hay abuelos e hijos. There are grandparents and children, you know, and kids. Yeah. E hijos. Yeah. So it's changing the word and to a. Now that happens also with the word o, if o means or.
See.
And if you have an o meaning or, yeah, because it stands by itself to say or, then if the word after o is another o, they don't want to do that. So the o changes to u. So you might say, la reunión dura 7 u 8 horas. The meeting lasts 7 or 8 hours. Same kind of setup. It's that little 1-letter word, but I don't want to say 7 o 8. Too hard to pronounce. Yeah. So that's why that happens. Those are 2 little words that literally switch because they're 1-letter thingies and they can do that. Yeah. Buena pregunta. Good question. You don't hear it a lot, but from time to time, it'll sneak up on you. Yeah. Okay. Vale, magnífico. Bueno, a ver. Let me start with, perdón. Hay otras preguntas. Do you guys have any other questions about what went on in this video? This was pretty slow paced. Yeah. Pretty easy to follow. La lotería. El video de la lotería, ¿no? Ella habló de lo que pasó, what happened, lo que pasó con su tía y como ella ganó la lotería, pero perdió el dinero que recibió de la lotería. Okay. Bien. But a lot of past tense, of course. And then we had this is the second to last. There's going to be one more video I can send you this week. The second to last about, oh yeah, this talked about who owns the rights, didn't it? Yeah. ¿Quién tiene los derechos? Sí. Hay una fundación, una corporación, una empresa que es dueño de los derechos del arte y de todo que vende sobre Frida Kahlo, las obras de Frida Kahlo. And we'll have one more on that. 11, they don't usually have the series that's quite that long. Y no hay ninguna pregunta, no questions on those 2.
Yeah.
No? Okay. Bien. Vale. Bueno, entonces, all right. So if we have no follow-up questions from homework, I want to finish up our last two fotos, las últimas fotos de la semana pasada. So I'll bring these up because you probably have these prepped a long way back. And we just have to take a look at them. And these were the very easy things of, well, what do you want to say about these? What do you want to describe about these pictures? But using past tense ideas to describe the pictures.
I have no idea where my notes are from this now.
Okay. Bien. De la playa. De la playa. It can be anything describing what the scene looked like, what things were there, what people were doing there, anything about those two photos since they are related. And these have some definite activities that you might have to look up the Spanish word for. And some of those sports they kind of borrow from the English for them. And, you know, kayak, especially. Por ejemplo, podemos decir, we can say, la pareja remó en kayak en el océano. The couple rowed. Remar is to row a water vehicle, you know, canoa, canoe, kayak, un barquito, little boat, sí. Remó en kayak en el océano. They rowed in the kayak.
Could it also be la pareja remaba en kayak en el océano?
Es posible la pareja remaba, and it'll be expected that something follows that.
Okay.
Por ejemplo, and the following it could be anything like, because you're describing, remaba en kayak.
Todos los tardes.
Todas las tardes. O porque hacía buen tiempo, because it was good weather. They'll just expect an idea to be attached to that. Yeah. Okay. Not for it to be just kind of hanging there by itself. Porque, or maybe an interrupting event. La pareja remaba en kayak.
About cuando de vacaciones.
Cuando estaban de vacaciones, when they were on vacation. Sí, cuando estaba, perdón, singular, cuando estaba de vacaciones o cuando se acercó a un tiburón, when a shark came up. Wow, qué evento, ¿no? Or cuando pasó otro barco, when another boat passed them, yeah, past ways, yeah. Así, hay muchas posibilidades aquí, bien. Okay. Bueno. Excelente. ¿Qué más? What else might we say about these?
La familia,
Go ahead.
la familia se estaba un tiempo muy divertido en Hawaii.
La familia. And we want to remember, had a good time,
Was having, say estaba.
was having a good time is going to be se divertía,
Oh, se divertía.
o la familia la pasaba bien. And that doesn't look like having a good time, but it is. La pasaba bien. People also say lo pasaba bien. Lo, I believe lo is used a little more in Spain, la more in Central America. Why that is, I don't know, but everybody knows what you mean, and nobody bats an eyelash one way or the other, whether you use la or lo. La familia la pasaba bien. Toda la semana. Toda la semana en la playa. Right? But we never want buen tiempo, a good time, right? Because buen tiempo is something we need to ban. It can be la pasaba bien, se divertía. It could even be la familia disfrutaba. Disfrutaba disfrutaba del océano. Enjoyed the ocean.
Can I insert in there after disfrutaba jugando en el océano?
Jugar, just jugar. Jugar, yeah. If we combine that, we left that second part. So, okay. Es buen punto. This is a good thing that you brought this up because they enjoyed playing, right? This is that kind of classic thing of using a gerund, meaning an ing idea in English, as a noun. What did they enjoy? They enjoyed playing. And if we're using playing as the activity, the thing, it's got to go into jugar, into the infinitive, right?
Yeah.
Por ejemplo, otro ejemplo, another example that would be like that would be something like jugar en la playa en el Caribe es un placer. Playing on the beach in the Caribbean is a pleasure. Okay, so we're only going to use jugando if we've got it combined with an estar or an iba kind of verb. Usually it's estar, but it can be some other verb. So we can use ing if we phrase it this way. La familia estaba jugando con su hija. Sí. Or estaba jugando en la playa. Or la familia, instead of estaba, we could say something like siguió jugando, kept on playing. Yeah. Estaba jugando is great, was playing, kept on playing, meaning, yeah, kept on playing throughout the afternoon, kept on playing all day, right? Siguió, we can sub in that verb seguir, which means to continue or to go on. And it just gives it a real, like, more movement feel. That's all.
The sentence I was thinking of that was very similar to the one that was put up initially in this little discussion, and because they enjoyed playing. Ellos disfrutaron jugando.
Yeah.
But you just said really it should be instead of playing, use the infinitive jugar.
We have, yeah. See, and disfrutar uses that little word de usually. La familia disfrutaba de jugar. This is that de is just one of those odd prepositions. It's a hangnail thing that goes with that particular verb, disfrutar. I can't give you a reason why, it just does. Yeah. Disfrutaba de jugar. But yeah, disfrutar does not connect with an ing. Oh, disfrutar does not connect with an ing kind of form. Okay. You can have disfrutar de and a thing, disfrutar de and an infinitive. Those work.
Okay.
Okay. Bien. Yeah, we've got a lot of ways to say enjoyed or, well, not take advantage of, because that's a different verb yet, but that's okay. Está bien. That's all good. Okay. So let me show you something that happens, because this is a frequent thing that people use, that people do as an activity on vacation. Snorkel. Snorkel. They borrow that word snorkel, and we combine it with hacer. Okay. And that a similar thing can happen with the surf thing. So think of when, snorkeling's probably been done forever, but, in terms of it being popularized as a thing to do for vacation, probably more something, a little more recent, So, okay, la mujer, entonces la mujer hizo snorkel. And actually, that's going to need an accent mark. Snorkel durante sus vacaciones. Okay. She snorkeled. Hizo snorkel. Bien. And another one that is often used is hacer surf. Hacer surf. But there are different things that are used there. So I'll show you some things. Los chicos, the boys here, I think they're both a couple of boys. Los chicos hicieron surf. See? Some people have turned this into surfear. So if you hear it either way, that's considered acceptable. Surfear. A lot of words that get borrowed from English into Spanish happen because an activity becomes popular and they don't have a word for it in Spanish. It happens a little more with technology things, but with some of these kind of like more exotic vacation things that people maybe didn't do 30 years ago, 40 years ago as much, and they certainly existed. A lot of times it gets turned into an actual verb like surfear. So I've heard people use that as the verb surfear. Another verb, and usually it gets turned into an AR verb because that's the most common kind of verb. ¿Por qué? I don't know. So los chicos surfearon. They surfed. Surfearon. Los chicos surfearon cerca de la playa, cerca de la isla. Surfearon en las olas, in the waves. Surfearon en las olas. They surfed on the waves. Así, like that. Every once in a while, you get verbs like that get adopted into Spanish. Here's another one. Tuitear is to tweet. Tuitear was just taken from Twitter because we don't have a word for Twitter, so we're just going to adopt it out. So tuitear. So you literally read things about, so-and-so tweeted, Elon Musk tweeted, and you'll read Elon Musk tuiteó que boo, 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 boo. He tweeted that, and then they say whatever he tweeted. So every once in a while, you see those kinds of verbs that get turned into literally a new verb in Spanish. They just adopt the word. They're palabras prestadas. They are loaned words. That's what they call them. Okay, if we were to describe what the weather was like in all of these pictures, what might we use? What kind of ideas? Just even something as bland as it was good weather. We need to use,
El tiempo es
Estaba bien.
and to talk about good weather, hacer buen tiempo. There we do use a buen tiempo because it doesn't mean good time, it means good weather. Yeah. Hacer buen tiempo, it was good weather is imperfecto with that. Hacía, perfecto. Hacía buen tiempo. Tiempo. O, por ejemplo, hacía sol. It was sunny. Sí. There were no clouds. No había nubes. Yeah, there were no clouds. No había nubes. No había nubes. And remember one thing about haber, and this is a mistake that sometimes native speakers make. Once in a while, you may hear somebody say something like, habían nubes. And you can't really do that because even though nubes is plural, when we use I, no matter what tense, but there are or there were, it has to stay as a singular because it's considered an impersonal verb. So había nubes is what you have to use, even though nubes is plural. You would say hay nubes, there are clouds, okay? But there's no plural for that.
El cielo era azul.
El cielo era azul. Perfecto. That describes what it looked like. El cielo era un azul brillante. Sí, un azul brillante. Ok, fantástico. Eso es. Good. Okay. Bien, pretty good.
I have a question on the top photo, which I don't think we've talked about too much, but I was thinking about por and para here. So ellos caminaron por la playa.
Excelente. Sí. Sí. Ellos, or you might say todos, everybody, whatever you want to do with that. Caminaron por la playa. And that will be a much more natural thing. You could say para la playa, but then you have to mean that the beach was their destination. So if what you're meaning to say is they walked along the beach, the word we need for that is por. And that is something people are totally going to expect to hear. Caminaron por la playa. Por means along or through or around. Walked around the beach. It's still por. Yeah. Por is always a wiggly line. It's wiggly. It goes all over. Okay. Por does not have a set endpoint. So if you're just hanging out in the general area, it's por la playa. Okay. Excelente. Really good. Plugging in the por and para in there too. Okay. Bueno. We're going to switch gears just a little bit. I believe I asked you guys to come up with like 3 or 4 sentences to just talk about something that happened on a particular morning, during a particular day, and you may need both. If you tell it as a straight sequence of events, you may need only pretérito. If you mix into some description, you may need some pretérito, some imperfecto. Okay. Depends on what you're relating, right? See, you got some ideas to show me for that, or do you want me to do my example first?
I've got some ideas.
Bueno.
All right. Hace unas semanas, mis amigos vinieron a Arizona para visitarme.
Vinieron, they came. Vinieron para visitarme, bien.
Un día había mucho lluvia y viento muy fuerte.
Bien, sí.
No podíamos comer afuera o salir a caminar.
Ok. A caminar, ok.
Así que vimos una película.
Bueno, muy bien.
Se llama Tar y es muy interesante. No divertido, pero interesante.
¿Es una película triste? ¿Es una película triste?
Diferente.
Ok.
Muy diferente.
Yo sé pocos detalles. I know a few details. Pocos detalles de la película. Y es de un conductor.
Sí.
Una mujer que era conductor y es una historia de verdad, ¿bien?
Sí. No mucho música.
Oh, una película de una conductora sin música.
No, sin música.
Muy poco usual. Por lo general, cuando hay una historia de alguien que es músico o que tiene talento musical, siempre hay escenas en la película que tienen un concierto o se trata de mucha música durante la película, pero esta película no. Es la historia de la vida de la conductora, ¿no?
Y her downfall.
Y wow. Ok. Bien. Entonces, sí, muy interesante. Ok. Bueno, excelente. ¿Algo más?
I can try one if Diane, were you finished with that?
Yes.
Sí,
Sí.
ok.
Sí.
Okay. El sábado pasada,
You're fuzzing out a little bit. Perdón.
let me try again. Is that better?
Okay, sí.
Okay. El sábado pasado, mi esposa y yo fuimos al mercado de arte nativo americano en el Museo Heard.
Oh, en el Museo Heard. Muy interesante.
Okay. Había muchos cabinas con los artistas.
Bien, okay. Like booths?
Yes.
Okay. Generally, the word that they use for that is puesto.
Puesto?
Puesto, yeah, that's a term. Whenever you've got a little, like a tent booth set up at a fair,
Mhm.
I assume that's what you mean.
Yes.
It would usually be called a puesto. Cabina would be a very enclosed space.
Ah,
And that could, depending on how it was set up, be appropriate. But puesto is what people usually say for a stand where people sell something or show something, exhibit something. See?
I think that was closer, yes. Había
Okay.
muchos puestos con los artistas.
Bien.
Compramos un gran florero hacer de bronce, a large vase made of bronze,
De bronce, sí, sí.
con símbolos de animales que viven en los mares, en la tierra y en el aire.
Wow, qué interesante.
The artist was a Native American from the Great Lakes area. He
Sí.
was explaining the theme in that vase.
Wow.
Fascinating.
Entonces, los puestos tenían artesanías, ¿no? Artesanías. Artesanías son handcrafted items.
Yes. And después almorzamos a Scott's Generations, un buen deli en Avenida Glendale y Calle 7.
Ah, bien. Excelente. Qué buen día. No tengo cosas tan interesantes, eventos tan interesantes en mi vida como ustedes. Bien, sí. Bueno, entonces, una tarde, un día en la exhibición en el Museo Heard. Fantástico. Ok. Vale, me gusta mucho. Gracias, Mark. Bueno, ¿alguien más? Somebody else?
Esta semana la clima estaba perfecto. Trabajé en el jardín para 2 horas el lunes. Mi esposa y yo fuimos al vivero y compramos plantas de vegetales, pimientos, melones y tomates y I had to look this one up. Semillas de guimbombo.
Wow. Semilla, seeds.
Semillas seeds de Guimbombo with an S.
Wow. ¿Qué es eso?
Okra.
¿Hay una palabra inglesa? Is there an English word for that? No.
I don't think so. Okra.
Wow.
If
Okay.
you like gumbo. Y albahaca es basil.
Okay.
Ayer recogí las naranjas sangre y las exprimí.
Exprimir es squeeze them out. Yeah, sí. Excelente, excelente. Okay, la única cosita, and this is a very tiny thing, and it's a por and para thing. Wow. Trabajé por 2 horas. I worked for 4 hours. This is one of those nagging rules, and it's kind of hard to do the 50-50 thing on this one. When we talk about duration of time, we use por. So I worked for 4 hours. Trabajé por 2 horas. Trabajé por 8 horas. Vimos la nueva película por 1 hora y media. We watched the movie for an hour and a half. Algo así, something like that. Para with time has to talk about a deadline. Por with time talks about duration, a block of time that somebody was doing something, that something lasted. Pero sí, buenas actividades y todo bien, todo bien. Excelente, muy bien. ¿Alguien más? Anybody else got one for me here? Jan?
Ayer por la mañana fue al oftalmólogo, el médico de los ojos.
Ah, bien, sí. Yo
Cuando
también.
Cuando llegué a casa, hablé con mi amiga de la infancia de Baltimore.
Wow.
Hicimos planes para cenar mañana en uno de mis restaurantes favoritos.
Ah,
Luego estudié algo de español y hice mi tarea que era escribir esto.
okay. Okay. Oh, and here is an example of an hice, and I did hice, yeah, the thing that Trish brought up, hice tarea, and I did homework. Bien, bien, excelente. Entonces, bueno, Jen, ¿tienes una amiga que está visitando su casa?
Sí,
Ah,
no en mi casa, en su casa. Ella vive en Baltimore para en el invierno va a Scottsdale.
Bien, ok. Ella vive aquí, tiempo parcial, part-time, como muchos,
Sí.
como mucha gente. Exacto, muy bien. Bueno, a ver, bueno, Trish, ¿tienes algo?
Sí.
Gracias,
Ayer,
Jen.
ayer mi esposo y yo fuimos a dar un paseo en bicicleta. También le di a mi perro un baño
Oh,
y la llevé a dar un paseo. Por la mañana monté mi Peloton e hice algunas pesas. It's supposed to be lifted weights, I think.
okay, sí. Para pesas for weights es levantar, because you lift them.
How do you spell that?
Levantar, like levantarse.
Levantar. Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
but without the se, because
Okay.
you're instead of lifting yourself, you're lifting weights.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's
Eso
a lot.
es.
That's enough weight for me. Me sentí muy bien al fin del día y estaba feliz de haber hecho tanto.
De haber hecho tanto, of having done so much. Wow, wow, sí, bien, muy difícil. Bueno, sí, yo no tengo, wow, no hice cosas tan interesantes como ustedes. I didn't do anything as interesting as you guys. Pues sí, monté en bicicleta. Hace 2 días, 2 days ago, hace 2 días monté en bicicleta con un amigo que vive en Inglaterra la mayoría del año y con otra amiga que camina conmigo con frecuencia. Y bueno, montábamos en bicicleta en el parque McDowell cuando vimos un venado. We saw a deer.
Wow.
Vimos vimos un venado corriendo por el parque. Corriendo por el parque. Y bueno, las flores también empezaron de florecer. Florecer es cuando los pétalos de las flores aparecen. Bien. Los pétalos de las flores aparecen. El verbo es florecer, de flower, ¿sí? Ok, bien. Y también fui a la mujer que calcula los ingresos y los impuestos. Los impuestos, taxes, guy.
Sí.
Odio los impuestos y odio calcular. No odio los impuestos tanto, sino que, pero sí, odio mucho calcular y odio buscar los documentos, odio calcular todo de los gastos con el médico y
Sí.
qué difícil. No es para nada interesante ni es horrible. Pero ya está. Now it's done. Ya está. Wow, gracias a Dios. Y no tengo que calcular nada. Hasta el año que viene, until next year. Ok, bien, excelente. Pero el venado fue algo muy interesante. The deer was kind of an interesting thing. Bien. Sí, ok. Bueno, ahorita, ¿qué más? You guys did really, really well. I have to say, hicieron muy bien. Y ahora tenemos otras fotos y podemos hablar de las otras fotos aquí que tenemos aquí. Ok, momentito. Y
Oh, sí.
ok, bien. Sí. Otra vez vamos a hablar de eventos y también de descripciones en el pasado. Y según lo que ves en las fotos, according to what you see in the pictures. Y, bien. ¿Dónde estaba la mujer? Where was the woman?
Una farmacia.
En una farmacia, me imagino que sí. Ok. Entonces, si queremos decir she was in a pharmacy, ¿cómo se expresa con estar? She was in a pharmacy.
Yeah.
Estaba is generally what we use. We don't use estuvo a lot. I might use ella estuvo en la farmacia a las 10 at 10. If I were to indicate like a specific time of day, you might hear somebody use estuvo, but generally, even though you might think of that as being over and done, it's really more of a descriptive thing of she was in there wandering around. So she was in the pharmacy. Anytime we talk about somebody was someplace, it usually winds up being imperfecto. Most of the time. Only if you really want to put the emphasis on like a specific time of day, or maybe a specific day, then you might flip to pretérito, but not that much. Ella estaba en la farmacia. Okay. ¿Y qué más podemos decir? What else can we say about her or that place or anything?
Estaba en la farmacia para comprar jabón, pero no puedo decidir cuál producto.
Para comprar algo, something, pero no, but she couldn't decide or she didn't know or.
No puedo decidir.
No podía
Yeah.
And it could be no pudo if you're talking about she didn't manage to actually make a decision. But often it'll be this, depende. It really depends on the idea you want. No podía decidir en qué producto quería comprar. O, por ejemplo, no sabía cuál era el mejor producto. No sabía cuál era el mejor producto. She didn't know which was the best. She does look a little puzzled there, doesn't she? See? Sí. Tiene, sí, en la cara, sí, podemos ver que ella está decidiendo o estaba decidiendo. Bueno, ok.
Would you say, can you use qual producto? Can you use qual producto together?
Okay. Can we use cuál producto? Some people do. But if you want to go straight by the book as what's considered really, really proper, I'll say it this way. In many places of Latin America, you may hear some people saying cuál producto, but the hard and fast rule that's supposed to be the correct way, according to Webster in English, but it wouldn't be Webster in Spanish, according to the La RAE, the RAE. You're supposed to combine que with a noun. This is one of those little rules about que and cuál. So the really, really proper way is to say que producto. If we use que in front, immediately in front of a noun, it should be que producto. And maybe we'll do a little something next week on que and cuál, because that kind of tends to come up from time to time, and que and cuál can be really, really confusing, but that it is not an easy answer like E changing to A. It takes a while, so we don't want to get into the weeds yet on that. So the short answer is Latin America, you may hear people use combining cuál with producto, but technically, yeah, the grammar police, the grammar Nazis, if we can say it that way, want it to be que producto, que in front of a noun. Yeah, it's okay. Bien.
How about similar to that? Ella trató de decidir qué cosas comprar.
Ella trató, she tried, de decidir. She tried to decide which products to buy.
Yeah, I said which things to buy.
Which things to buy.
¿Qué cosas comprar?
Ella trató de decidir cuáles de las cosas debía de comprar. That's got all kinds of little twists and turns. That gets a little bit, sí. Trató de decidir here's a way to avoid that long phrase. Ella trató de decidir entre los productos antes de comprar, before buying. Eso. Okay. Which of the things, cuáles de las cosas. And again, we'll talk about this cuáles de and cuál, and when we use cuál and when we use que. It's not a deal breaker in a lot of cases, but it's a good thing to know because we wind up using that. Here's an even easier way. Trató de decidir que productos, qué productos quería comprar or debía comprar. She should buy.
Would those work without either the quería or debía? Just to decide
Debía
what-
is should.
what-
Debía is should. And quería wanted to buy, which
Right.
she wanted to buy or which she should buy, because we might use either in English, right?
In
kind
English, I was thinking in English, I don't need either. It's trying to decide what to buy.
Yeah. Yeah. You're going to hear it kind of thrown in with a verb more often than not there. Yeah. Eso es. That's just the way that one goes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Si queremos, I'm looking at, I want to budget my time here. Here we go. Si queremos describir este espacio, y este espacio está conectado a una casa, bien, ¿sí? Bueno, entonces, ¿cómo podemos describir este espacio del hogar? A home space del hogar. Okay, voy a empezar. I'm going to start us off here, ¿sí? Había un jardín muy bonito detrás de la casa de mi vecino. Había un jardín muy bonito detrás de la casa de mi vecino. I can even cut it up. Había un jardín muy bonito. Estaba detrás de la casa de mi vecino. It was in the back side of in back of my neighbor's house, right? It was back is always going to be estaba, and then here's location, detrás de. If it were on the side, it would be estaba al lado. See? If it were in front of the house, estaba delante o enfrente, enfrente de la casa de mi vecino. Okay, depende de la ubicación, depends on the location, but whenever we talk about where something was and we're just describing it, it's going to be imperfecto. Estaba detrás de la casa de mi vecino. How would I say it had a lot of furniture?
Tenía muchos muebles.
Muchos muebles. Tenía muchos muebles. Tenía muchos muebles como un sofá, dos sillas o dos sillones, un banco para comer, para hacer picnic. Sí, picnic, borrowed word, yeah. Había un dispositivo para hacer barbacoa. Yeah, gadget thing, sí, for barbecuing, sí. Había luces.
Sí. Ayer mi vecino limpié el patio porque tiene una fiesta hoy.
Mi vecino limpió.
Oh, he did.
Limpió es
Oh.
yo. Entonces, sí, mi vecino limpió el patio para su fiesta, ¿sí? Para su fiesta. o para la fiesta del fin de semana o lo que sea, whatever it may be, lo que sea. Bien, excelente. Limpió el patio. He got it all spruced up. He cleaned it up. Barrió, he swept. Barrer es to sweep. Entonces barrió el patio. He swept the patio, ¿sí? Colgó luces. He hung lights. We could also say puso luces. He put up lights. Puso luces o colgó. He hung lights. ¿Sí? Algo así. Había flores y todo eso. Ok. Bien, bien. Siguiente, next.
Well,
Oh, perdón.
as the guy in the group here, all I could see was the grill. La parrilla estaba lista para cocinar en el patio.
Sí, eso, sí, muy bien, sí, para cocinar en el patio, sí. Ok. La familia podía cocinar en el patio. La familia podía. The family was able to. And here we would really not want pudo. Podía cocinar en el patio. If we want to just talk about the family was able to cook outside on the patio, we're talking about they had that ability because of the barbecue grill being there, okay? If I were to change that to pudo cocinar, it would be they managed to cook, okay? And meaning that, oh, it got done. They weren't halfway through. They didn't get interrupted. Oh, the grill actually did work. So they got the cooking done. We're just talking about they could cook all the time, whenever they felt like it. And if that's what you mean, it's podía, right? Pudo would mean you're talking about one time they managed to do it. Oh, the grill was finally working. Yeah, right? Funcionó. Por fin funcionó. Por fin la plancha funcionó. Finally, the grill worked. Por fin la plancha funcionó. Así que la familia pudo cocinar. Finally, the grill worked. And the family was able to get the meal on the grill. Then pudo cocinar means something specific. ¿Entienden, no? Okay. Bien. Okay. Bueno. Siguiente. Muchos de nosotros tenemos familia o amigos que viven en el este del país, en estados como Minnesota y Michigan y Ohio y Illinois y hay mucha nieve. There's a lot of snow. Ahora hay mucha nieve en muchas partes de Estados Unidos, ¿no? Ok. ¿Qué podemos decir aquí de este hombre? Con la pala, with the shovel.
How about limpié la nieve de mi acera y quemé 1000 calorías?
Y la segunda parte, the second part.
Y quemé, it's supposed to be I burned 1,000 calories, but I didn't really know which.
Oh, sí.
Is it
Calorías, sí, ok, sí. Y quemé. No sé si usan. Voy a buscar un momentito. En inglés, muchas veces decimos sí. El término es quemar calorías, burn calories. No sé si es igual en español. I don't know. Quizás momentito. Vamos a ver. Es algo interesante. Burn, right, burn. No, no, no. Wow.
Say maybe you.
How about something that is like consume?
Sí,
Well-
me imagino que sí. Yeah, I think they do. I was looking up for ways that we could use. Oh, and they're just giving me English because sometimes those things don't turn out the same. But we're going to say that it does because I can't right now. Limpié la acera. Let's say we clean the sidewalk, or limpié la acera. Y quemé.
Well, when it says something about workouts burned off, it still says quemar.
It
So
just says quemar. Okay. Then I imagine so. Y quemé muchas calorías porque fue trabajo muy duro. Because it was really hard work. Sí. Okay. Eso es, sí. Bien. Quemarse is to burn yourself. So we definitely don't want the reflexive with this one, but we'll say quemar. Okay. Bien. Usar calorías también sería una posibilidad, me imagino. Bien. Okay. Excelente. Por ejemplo, si queremos decir había mucha nieve. Había mucha nieve, sí, enfrente de esta casa. O podríamos decir, we could also say something like, la noche anterior, nevó mucho. The night before, it snowed a lot.
Could you use hubo if it were hubo un nieve gigantica or grande? Could you
Hubo, sí, si decimos hubo una tormenta de nieve, there was a snowstorm. Hubo una tormenta, sí, sí, una tormenta de nieve, sí, eso, that would work. Sí, we have to pair hubo with some kind of an event. So if we take the word storm, we can use hubo with that. H-U-B-O, H-U-B-O, right? Sí, hubo una tempestad, una tormenta de nieve, sí. Bueno, okay. ¿Cómo se dice? It was really cold.
Hace mucho frío.
Hace es ahora. It was cold. ¿Cómo se dice? It was cold.
Había.
Hacía
Hacía.
mucho frío. Hacía mucho frío. It was really cold. Hacía mucho frío. Okay. Vale, fantástico. Vale. Siguiente, ¿no? Aquí, necesito un bloqueo aquí. Ok, vale, mejor. Si queremos hablar de los jóvenes aquí tenemos muchos adolescentes.
Todos los adolescentes estaban usando los celulares.
Sí, eso es, sí. Todos los adolescentes estaban usando los celulares.
Cuando sonó el timbre.
Cuando sonó. Cuando sonó, perdón, ay, el timbre. El timbre es bell, sí, cuando sonó el timbre. Sonar is to sound. So whenever we want to say something rings, we use the verb sonar. Sonar. Sonó el timbre, the bell rang. Es así. Ok. Bien. Fantástico. Otras ideas aquí.
Los niños miraron sus teléfonos.
Perdón, Marcos. El verbo, the verb there again.
Miraron.
Oh, miraron, sí. Sí. Los jóvenes miraron sus teléfonos. Miraron las pantallas. They were looking at the screens. Pantallas is used a lot. Las pantallas del teléfono, the screens on their phone. We're just throwing out some different words here. Miraron las pantallas. They looked at the screen. Sí, eso es, sí. Ok, bueno, otras ideas de esto o no.
Enviaron muchos mensajes de la-
Enviaron.
de la nueva maestra.
Enviaron muchos mensajes. They sent a lot of messages. Eso sí. Enviaron. Enviar to send. Sí. A ver, okay. If you want to use the idea of posted, this is kind of connected to that idea of texting, or let's say they take pictures and then they put them out on the internet. Yeah, they post it. There are probably two verbs. They might use enviar. They might use mandar. It could use mandar as well. Let's put that in, mandaron. There are different ways you might hear people saying that. So we're going to get some of those up. Mandaron mensajes. This is used a lot. Publicar. Publicaron fotos en Instagram, por ejemplo. Publicaron. Publicar means to publish, and that's often used for posting something as well, putting it out there on the internet. And the big app, if for kids who actually, I think also in Latin America, I know in Europe, everybody on WhatsApp. WhatsApp is like what just everybody in Europe uses WhatsApp, and that's been for years and years and years. It is much more popular there. And I think I even hear people in Latin Americans talking about posting on WhatsApp quite a lot. Okay, entonces aplicaciones. Hay aplicaciones distintas que son populares en Latinoamérica, en España, en Europa, y WhatsApp sería uno de los apps más usados en otros países, más que en Estados Unidos. Ok. Bien. Siguiente. I want to watch my time, make sure we make time for all of our photos today. Aquí tenemos una familia y, ¿dónde estaba la familia? Where was the family? ¿Dónde estaba la familia?
En la cocina.
Estaba en la cocina. Todos estaban en la cocina. Bien, sí. Y bueno, ¿qué podemos decir de la familia en la cocina? ¿De qué hicieron? What they did.
Castellano en la cocina.
Ok, sí. O por ejemplo, preparar, ¿no? Preparar. Prepararon. Güey. Prepararon.
Hagan la cena juntos.
La cena juntos. Sí. Todos ayudaron a cocinar. Todos ayudaron a cocinar juntos. Bien. Ok. Ayudar is one of those odd little verbs that when I combine it with a second verb, I need that little word a. And there's no reason for it except that the word ayudar takes that little word a, like vamos a cocinar. Same thing. Vamos takes a. Ayudar takes a when I combine a second verb. Bien. If you miss it, people will still know what you mean. It'll just sound a little off, but they'll still get the meaning for sure. ¿Y qué había en la cocina? ¿Qué había? What was there? What stuff was just around in the kitchen? ¿Qué había en la cocina?
Was there? No entiendo.
¿Qué había? What was in? What kind of stuff
había-
was in the kitchen?
Oh, none.
Había una isla en la cocina.
Oh, había una isla, sí, an island. I don't think we can use that island. Qué buena pregunta. En inglés decimos island para describir un mueble en la cocina y es un mostrador para cortar y preparar. Creo que tenemos que decir había un mostrador. I think we have to call that a counter. I don't think qué buena pregunta. Voy a buscar. Mueble de cocina, como mueble de cocina. Creo que no. Wow, yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Mueble de cocina. Mostrador. Eso es. That's it. Yeah. No se puede usar la palabra isla. Isla es estrictamente una palabra de la geografía en español. En español no podemos usar la palabra isla para island. En inglés sí, pero aquí había un mostrador o un mueble de cocina. Pero había un mostrador, sí, había, por ejemplo, había gabinetes. Había gabinetes, there were cabinets, sí. Había, la comida en el mostrador. ¿Había qué?
La ensalada.
Había así, ensalada.
Leche, queso.
Leche, queso, pan, sí, todo eso, sí, aguacates, eso, ok, cosas para preparar, para preparar el almuerzo, por ejemplo. O el desayuno o lo que sea, whatever it may be. Bien, sí. Ok.
En la esquina Estaba una cafetera.
Ah, sí. La cafetera, coffee maker. La cafetera estaba, y eso no es esquina, es rincón. En el rincón.
Okay.
Para corner, corner, que está dentro de un edificio, se dice rincón. ¿Ya? Bien. Ok. Esquina es como corner on a block. ¿Sí? Ok. Ok. Vale. Pero, buenas preguntas. Ok. Siguiente. Si queremos hablar de estas dos personas, tenemos un hombre mayor y una chica bastante joven. ¿Y qué podemos decir?
Antes de ir a casa, el hombre fue a la panadería para comprar pan.
Fue a la panadería para comprar pan. Bien, sí, el hombre fue a la panadería para comprar pan. Fantástico, sí. ¿Cómo se dice? These two people worked at the bakery. These two people worked. Estos o estas dos personas used to work.
Trabajaron.
Trabajaron en la panadería.
Trabajaban.
Trabajaban y depende, ¿sí? Depende. Used to work, trabajaban. Worked, ese día, that day, trabajaron. Depende, ¿sí? Las dos formas del verbo son posibles. ¿Ok? Y depende de lo que tienen en la mente. Y es así. Ok. Vamos a ver. Tenemos un verbo muy especial. Hornear. Hornear es to bake. Horno es el electrodoméstico que usamos para hacer pan, para muchas cosas, para carne también. Hornear, to bake. ¿Cómo se dice? They baked a lot of bread. Y pretérito, preterite. This will be a regular verb.
Ellos hornearon muchos de pan.
Hornearon mucho pan. Mucho pan. Hornearon. I forgot my N. That's why it's flagging me. Hornearon mucho pan. Hornearon mucho pan. Hornearon un montón de pan. ¿Sí? Hornearon un montón de pan.
Mucho pan. Qué delicioso.
Mucho pan delicioso. Exacto. Pan casero. Homemade. Oh, pan casero. Casero comes from the word casa. Casa is house and casero is homemade. Casero. We even use that word casero if you want to talk about like home remedies. Like you got a cold and they want to do the whiskey and honey thing and shove it down your throat. Yeah. Remedios caseros. homemade remedies, ¿sí? Una persona puede decir, por ejemplo, escuché un video el otro día donde un hombre nos dijo, no me gustan los remedios caseros cuando estoy enfermo. I don't like homemade remedies when I am sick. Es así, stuff like that. ¿Sí? Bien.
Hornearon muchos panes diferentes.
Sí, bien. Okay. Okay. Bueno, yay, we got through all our pictures. Okay, momentito. I want to show you something I'm going to give you for listening. It's a little bit longer. Ooh, let me make sure I've got the right video up. Para la semana que viene. We're going to have the last in the series of the Frida thing. Es número 11. Sí, es 11. Y el último video sobre que se trata de, which is about, que se trata de la vida de Frida Kahlo, va a hablar de un tema importante. Bueno, ¿realmente era comunista Frida Kahlo? Was she really a communist? Because this was kind of a burning question. Yeah, sí. Muchos de los artistas, muchos de los muralistas en el movimiento de muralismo, en el muralism movement, muchos artistas, muchos fueron comunistas. Many of them were communists. And so, of course, this was a very hot topic in the 40s and the 50s. Y el video habla o se trata de, fue comunista Frida, pero, el segundo video es algo distinto y es largo. It is long. So I'm giving this because I don't have a specific grammar thing, although we are going to talk about, que en cual, we are going to talk about that. But this is a longer video and it's not specifically a storytelling. It's an exchange between these two ladies. Okay. Para que sepan, just so you guys know, this is designed to talk about differences between living in Mexico and Canada. Ella vive, Andrea, la chica de la historia de la lotería. Ella ahorita vive en Canadá. Vive cerca de Vancouver, creo. Sí. Y la otra no recuerdo, pero es un video bastante largo. This is a pretty long video, but they're going to flip between tenses, I'm pretty sure. This might be more in present than not, but it's a great video for a longer listening segment. I do want to caution you that it's a good idea to turn on, use the CC box to turn on the subtitles for this one because it will be so long. And be prepared to stop. But I would say, try not to slow it down and listen as many times as you need to, and do turn on the subtitles if you want. And that will help you a lot to get the gist of what they're, all the things that they're going to be talking about. So they're going to share their experiences with living in other places, ¿sí? De vivir. Hay muchos mexicanos que estudian también en el Canadá, tanto como en Estados Unidos. ¿Okay? El Canadá es un destino popular para estudiar, para trabajar con los mexicanos. Que hay muchos mexicanos que quieren asistir a las universidades en otros países y entonces, especialmente si el Canadá es un destino muy popular para ellos. Y las dos chicas van a hablar de las diferencias entre vivir en México y vivir en Canadá. Bien, ok. Y eso es, and we'll talk a little bit about qué en cuál next week. ¿Está bien?
Sí, sí.
Fantástico, fantástico. Ok, eso es todo. I think that's it for today. Entonces, nos vemos. Espero que ustedes tengan muy buena semana y buen fin de semana. ¿Bien? ¿Sí?
Gracias.
Muchísimas
You too.
gracias. Sí, y nos vemos la semana que viene. ¿Sí? Hasta luego.
Hasta luego.